Hello, this is John Micallef. We are here in Malta. It's a Mediterranean island, and we're going around a tour around a traditional garden. It belongs to my family, my father's side of the family. It used to belong to his grandma. Some of the trees here have been planted more than 100 years ago, and we're going through a tour around the garden. The garden is facing north, and on my right it's a huge olive tree. It has been planted here for about 20 years. Olives will soon be ready to be picked up. Next to it is a pomegranate tree, some herbs, some chilies, basil, rosemary, a little orange tree. We can see lots of snails. It's early in the morning. There's an open area where traditionally potatoes, garlic, onion, broad beans are sowed. A pear tree with some huge pears. Just in front of us there's the traditional stone wall. Call them rubble walls, made from rubble of old buildings. Even though it is late September, there are still some grapes on the vines, very sweet grapes. It's all covered with netting, otherwise the birds would eat them all. All the buildings are made of limestone. Soil here is pretty shallow. This is an interesting tree. It's a pear tree, but it is a Maltese hybrid. Makes little pears. It's called a banbinella. More orange trees. This is like an orange orchard. A giant cactus. And we've got capers sprawling along the ground. It's interesting that this is the western side of the garden. There's a high wall, provides shelter from the wind. It's very good for the trees. A fish pond and a water reservoir built by my grandfather. Some nice goldfish, water lilies, and a water hyacinth. You can still see in the stones damage done by the shrapnel from exploding bombs. This garden is very close to the airport, Back in the Second World War, it used to be a military airport. It was a heavily bombed area. Even civilian areas were bombed. A well. In Malta, wells are dug out into the rock, solid limestone. Moving along this side of the garden, we're on the western side. There's a baby walnut tree, a Luqa tree, several Luqa trees, and a black mulberry tree. If you see the trunk of the mulberry tree, it's an ancient trunk. And there's a new offshoot of the trunk. Going back to the main path, more orange trees. Actually, this is a mandarin tree. A shot by the southern side of the garden. These are some pomegranates. Just beneath the pomegranates, we've got a cherry tree. Still a baby, still an experiment here. This is an interesting thing. This is a peach tree, and you can see that the main branches have been weighed down, tied with wire, just to expose more leaves to the sun. And you can see that I've got some buds. Something traditional to the Maltese culture is snail stew. Therefore we pick snails, and we can see here a whole pot full of garden snails. They will stay here for a couple of weeks so that they will be clean, and then they will be stewed with several herbs and chili. It will make a nice stew. Some prickly pears. And that is with a rotary hoe, just taking off the weeds from under the orange trees. Nice banana tree. And the nice Mediterranean blue skies.